Soccerchat-matchpack this past weekend was at the Woodland Stadium. Zambia had a date with the Walaya Antelopes, Ethiopia. So it was Wedson Nyirenda versus Coach Bekele from Ethiopia. Let's just take stock of the two selections that were made, the two starting lineups for this fixture, an international friendly game for both countries. Okay, so Ethiopia came here playing 4-1, 4-1. And for Zambia, we played 4-1-3-2, almost like a diamond formation. So Justin Shonga and Martin Piri leading the line for Zambia, Augustine Mlenga and Enes Mbewe playing wide. John Chingandu playing in the hall. The fullbacks were Silwimba and Kapumbu. The central defensive pairing was Zio Tembo and Shamu Jopa. Kondoni Mtonga played the defensive midfield role. And basically, not too much of a surprise, Dennis Makinka joins us on set. Yes, that was the call made by Coach Wada.
Not really a comment, but I think he selected what he thought was the best. But for me, looking at the lineup, I saw John Chingandu. I saw John Chingandu in the central midfield. I was thinking maybe we were trying to attack, but didn't suit our strategy.
In terms of the diamond, you wouldn't support playing John Chingandu on top of the diamond.
No, for me no.
Why? Just tell us why.
John Chingandu is like Kratos Cham. You can't play them on top of the diamond. They have to be coming from wide and then coming in deep.
So we cannot play the diamond. Anyway, we'll get into those details. Salute, yes. We went for a diamond formation. John Chingandu playing that role. And of course, up top, Martin Piri and Justin Shonga.
Well, yes, exactly my point. I think for me, I agree with Mr. Makinka. Except on one point. I think that Cletus could have done much better job in a similar position and in a similar
in the same formation
than Chingandu.
But look at this. Same formation, it didn't happen. Cletus was substituted in the first half and he went straight to the shower rooms. Yeah, same.
Yeah,
because Cletus and John, same position. Those are playmakers. You give them a free load. It's just like you want to play for you bring for to come and play as a number 8. No. Give him a free low. He's coming from the wide and then coming in, complementing the midfield. Yes.
Okay. We've heard. You at peace with that?
Well,
because this is the same.
Yeah, this is the
basically
same. I do agree.
That played
if anything
against Swaziland after Chama was subbed. John Chingandu came on. It was pretty much the same.
We've used the same system not only in the last two games, but I think we've used almost the same system ever since Mr. Nyirenda really took over. I doubt there are so many games that he has used a different approach.
I think for me I disagree because I saw the first game we had Samba on the left. Mm-hmm. We had Rainford on the
we
right.
Played the ball-shaped 4-4-2.
Yeah, that's our system, I think.
If we want to play 4-4-2, ball-shaped, not diamond.
Not diamond.
Okay. Anyway, let's have a look at Zambia in attack. So they were taking on a side that, gave us problems the last time we met them in a competitive fixture. So Zambia in attack. Here we go. Now, here's what was happening. Ethiopia was able to screen and close Zambia from playing forward diagonal passes. So you see their top man there, the number 9. He's blocking the line of pass into Kondoni Mtonga in the center of your screen wearing the shirt number 24. Invariably showing Faxon Kapumbu wide. And when that began to happen, he could only see but Augustine Mlenga in the wide position and with a little bit of space up top. And so the ball would come, they would exchange square passes at the back, but they would invariably go up. Now, we came up against an opponent, again, who was playing a medium press. But that one there, what were your feelings about that tactic? Or was it us playing to our strength or Ethiopia cancelling us out?
I think it was Ethiopia cancelling us out. Because when I looked at the way we were playing, we would do 4-5 passes at the back. By the time we want to go into the attacking phase, nothing was happening. Yeah, well, so I thought maybe Justin and Martin would have done much better. At least Justin was trying, but from the way I know him, he could have done much better. That was, he didn't do anything. Maybe even Martin was trying, because Martin, I know his job is to harass defenders, chase there, chase this side, win the ball.
Yeah,
but we didn't do that.
But that was happening. Meanwhile, that means the other side, the right-hand side of attack, becomes almost obsolete. You have a situation where now Ernest Mbewe is struggling how he's going to participate in the game, because seemingly the service is going to Augustine Mlenga.
Well, the service was actually going to Augustine Mlenga, but again, I had a problem in a sense that when Augustine was not in possession, he was usually sagging so much into the midfield, and sometimes he could not, link himself very well with Kapumbu, who had a very good day, I think, on that particular day. So you find that sometimes Kapumbu would have the ball, but would have no one to actually pass the ball to on the on the wing, because you find that Augustine would be so much inside that made him sometimes to overlap so much. I think we saw Kapumbu overlap so many times in that particular game, and sometimes he would be closed off by the defense of our opponents.
Now, I just want to take stock of that. Is that now Augustine is right-footed, playing on the left, meaning he will not give you a traditional whipped ball in swinging cross into the box. And then right there you seem to think, we're playing a diamond, and if our fullbacks won't come up, meaning the wingers have to probably play that ball. To the extent that Augustine Mlenga will always cut when you play him on the left. How much did we profit from his talents? He's a talented player.
Yeah, I think that combination is coming from Zanaco, I think, because even at Zanaco, Augustine is being used at the left, and Ernest at the right. Because Ernest, I think even Charles is coming back. Because if they have Charles where Ernest is playing, they'll get more crosses. So if you have Augustine on the left, obviously you need him to drift inside, make a dummy, and take that shot.
But when he does that, it means Faxon Kapumbo actually needs to come up. So it makes interesting reading as how we get balance. But let's also take stock of what was happening. So if you're playing a diamond formation, two things will happen. When you're defending, you want that diamond to actually become compact and shrink. If you want to attack, you better expand that diamond. And to that extent, in terms of our transitional shape, how comfortable were you with our match play?
Oh, I think we were not very comfortable. For me, I thought we were not very comfortable. Sometimes we would get a ball with Augustine. Support was always late.
Support.
Yeah, especially John Chingando. I think, I don't know. For me, maybe we have to look for a number 8.
Now, there was the issue of switching positions. Is that affinity by Augustine Mlenga to actually drift inside. Now, it was dictating something and asking John Chingando, because most of the times he plays wide and comes inside. Now he was coming central and running wide. And most of the runs were probably to the left to try to support Augustine Mlenga and create an overload there. But seemingly, well, I don't know. For most, the argument was that whatever we're doing was not pleasing to the eye.
No, Ziti, it wasn't. you know, we we would start the build-up quite well, but in the final third, that's where really we were actually outplayed by our opponents. Because, like you are saying, well, I think in my opinion, the greatest weakness that we had was actually in the midfield, and perhaps that is why you find Augustine drifting so much inside in order to try and fight for that ball. You have a situation where Chingandu himself, again, sometimes losing the ball unnecessarily. I think that the biggest problem was there, and that is why, again, you saw these two players, Shonga and Martin Piri. Both of them were drifting down in order to come and get that ball up because they were not being serviced.
Okay, let's discuss Ethiopia's shape in terms of their transitional shape. So, after all is said and done, here's what was happening. As earlier discussed, you'd find that the central defensive pairing for Ethiopia was very good on the day, winning most of the duels that they were actually involved in. Now, when there's a breakdown, immediately Ethiopia have got two probes on the left wing and the right wing. Look at how their wingers spread out and give an immediate option for that long ball into them. Meanwhile, Zambia, of course, defending with a back three at times. And we were discussing this issue last time out against Swaziland, where Silwimba and Kapumbu both forage forward and leave those spaces. This time, I think in terms of tactical discipline, you need to hand it to them. But look at where Kondwani Mtonga is, and this is where I wanted to discuss a little bit more about this one. Look at that. Kondwani Mtonga, the shirt number 24. Look, he's either going to stick with the jersey number 13 or follow the number 11. And for Faxon Kapumbu as well, if he goes close to the shirt number 11, he leaves the shirt number 9 free in space. So a bit of a decision-making dilemma. And basically, Ethiopia playing a 4-1-4-1, this was what they were able to do. What did you make of Ethiopia as a team regards to their transitional shape and eventually the attack?
I think in transition, they were very good. I was sitting there and I was thinking, these guys are good. Whenever they got the ball from the back, they were very confident. Yeah. I don't know if you were there. Mm. I was actually sitting behind their defense line first half. Very confident.
Very confident.
They were not losing the ball so cheaply. A defender would win the ball, get in control of the ball, give a pass. Good pass, they start a build-up from defense to midfield and into attack. I think it was almost ending into, they almost scored us, if you remember. So I was thinking, why can't we do the same? Why the difference was John Chingand was, I don't know if I can say he was always lost or
no, but I'm thinking, and maybe let's just bring back the transitional shape, because right there it to tell us a little story. Now look at this. John Chingandu, he had gone up because if Faxon Kapumbu plays a long ball into Augustine Mlenga there, John Chingandu is chasing forward to provide support in between the lines and to the two strikers up top, and Ernest Mbewe is drifting inside to provide a balance in attack. Now, that's where John is, but look at the central areas, is that invariably Ethiopia, because they're playing 4-1-4-1, therefore means that they've got two players standing ideally square to each other, and you've got the Zambian midfield where one is in front of those players, that is Kondwani Mtonga, and the other one is behind them, that is John Chingandu. Now, it creates a problem of who marks, especially if Martin Piri and Shonga are going to stand square and none of them is actually dropping back and becoming a 10 to defend.
I think what you are talking about Martin and Justin standing square. I remember one time Coach Agra stood up. Martin, we're a punch, because they were standing square. Mm-hmm. Martin was supposed to be marking their
defensive midfield.
Yeah, but they were all standing like they are all main strikers.
So
Yeah.
Martin
No one
was
to
supposed
pick.
to be the 10.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, at
because
some
because
point
from
you-
what I saw,
Okay.
Coach Agri stood up and told Martin, you're the one who's supposed,
to scheme for.
to come and stand on that one. So meaning Justin is the main striker, because even us at Inkwazi, Justin will play him as a main striker. We can't put him as a second striker because his abilities. Okay, yeah, he can come and mark, but that ability to do, because Martin he can harass. You remember
He's
the
got
last
better
year?
work
Yeah.
rate.
You remember even the last program we had, I spoke about Martin. He's got that work rate. He can chase this side, he can chase that side. So it's better you tell him to drop down, and then you start chasing from here. You have someone here.
Now, how do you get that? And I ask this, if you're going to play Diamond and the players probably say, oh, no, we'll be standing square. And now something changes, like in this game, something changes. Now, all of a sudden, Martin has to harass. And he put in a shift. Even when Ethiopia were actually trying to play out, he would harass. But again, isolated harassing, where if Martin is harassing, Augustine, Ernest, and Shonga may not be harassing at the same intensity. Now, you're talking about a team that has to give a coordinated press. Those are problems.
Those are the problems, and that's where we actually lost possession when it came to that area. We were just completely outdone. I think that, like Mr. Makinka here said, that our friends played a much coordinated game. You could see the way the game was progressing. And I think that what they just lacked was the ability to actually convert the chances that they created into shots on goal. Somehow, we must credit our defenders, I must say, because at least when maybe that critical pass was supposed to be made, when that critical shot was supposed to be made, our defenders were up, and that's why perhaps they never had a clear shot on target. But the build-up was excellent.
Okay, let's discuss Ethiopia's match play in further detail, because they actually came away from home and they were playing something. But here's what we're talking about. The ability for Ethiopia to circulate the ball. So you've got the ball in central defense there. He's got options on the left, on the right. And if it goes to the left, for instance, the winger is ready to receive. And there are acres of space there. But something that I think could have been a little bit mind-boggling, and perhaps this is why we need to evaluate our pressing system, is that here's what happens. When they are playing out, Kondwani Mtonga actually drops and gets close to Shamujopa and Kondwani Mtonga, and Zio Tembo, rather.
Zio Tembo.
And then you've got Silumba there, who was tucking in, and Kapumbu, who was tucking in. Meanwhile, it's basically 5v1, and Ethiopia, meanwhile, are having joy passing the ball around, circulating the ball into midfield, and finally coming into the zone where it's 1v5 and seemingly beating them, but just lacking that panache to actually convert that into shots on goal and that sort of a thing.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to press when the opponents are always standing, facing you, attacking you. That's what was happening. That we were always late. This one to go and press, like I saw Martin would go alone. Those guys, the number, is it 13? There was
Yes.
someone fat like me. Yeah, he would turn with the ball. By the time Martin is going there, passes the ball into the midfield. They start coming. And then now we start going one by one. Eliminated. Until they were reaching the goal.
Now, thank God for the performance of Zio Tembo in particular.
Zio Tembo.
Delivered crucial blocks, crucial
Very
interception.
crucial, yes.
And if it wasn't for him having that good day at the office, I shudder to think what could have happened.
We could have lost. We could have easily lost that particular game. But like you said, their weakness was that also they relied on their number 9. That when their coach couldn't also identify that he was always being
He was losing the duos against Zio in particular.
Zio, yes, and if it was not Zio, Mutonga assisted. So we always had that extra man against that number 9 of theirs, and that's where they got it wrong. Otherwise, if they had identified that particular negative quite quickly, they could have actually scored.
Okay, now I also want to get your thoughts about this, Dennis. You look at how Ethiopia were able to actually make us chess and moving us out of position and breaking down our shape. Like we're losing shape. Kondwani Mtonga was being forced to chase runners wide because they're coming from a central position, running wide, and there were technicians, they were able to pass the ball around. Should that be worrying going into our future assignments?
I think that should be a worry because it's 2 games in a row. I think even in the previous show I spoke about this. We played creators in the central midfield. This one we started with John. Same players. Those are wide players. They like coming inside, go out. They play like free roll. So we need to have someone, maybe, I don't know, someone like Isaac Chancellor. For me, we need to have that midfielder, the number 8, a box-to-box play. I don't know.
But if you have got a box-to-box, to play what? In the diamond, or we change the shape a bit?
No, even if we are playing a diamond, one has to be box to box. And then if we have someone like Kondwani, the way Kondwani plays is not a box to box, no. It's more defensive. So we need someone to go and attack and come back and assist. The one who's going back to defend and come back. You get my point?
I get your point. Let's look at the match statistics, gentlemen, because actually, if you look at Ethiopia's shot structure there, the only it wasn't rosy. Look at this. Zambia actually had 19 shots off target compared to 2 for Ethiopia. Shots on target, Zambia 5, Ethiopia 0. Corners, Zambia 9, Ethiopia 1. Look at the blocks. Now, we got in 9. The Ethiopian defense got in 15. In terms of the offside count, 1 for Zambia, 2 for Ethiopia. Let's just look at Ethiopia's shot structure from there on. Now, look at that situation. It was the top man, the number 9, the captain, got that ball on the edge of the area and scooped it and almost scored in the eastern goal post. The other one was in the first half, where they tried to shoot from range. It was a speculative strike, but it was a relaxing day at the office for one Tostan Sabata.
Oh, he enjoyed his day, if there is anything like that in football. He had no threat on goal. Whenever there was any ball, that was floated in, it was quite an easy one for him. So I think he was on holiday that particular day.
Okay, let's look at Zambia's shot structure before I get you in, Dennis. Zambia's shot structure, it was an avalanche of attacks, an avalanche. Look at that. Where the players, Augustine Mlenga got 2 on target, Enes Mbewe got 1 on target. You had Faxon Kapumbwazo shooting there, seemingly got that one on target. Shonga, Mike Katiba came on, John Chingandu, but where the black and white balls are, shots off target, and especially those 3 in the 18, Dennis, those on the edge of the area. In terms of attack, we can say that the diamond wasn't making us look pretty, but in an attacking sense, look at the numbers that we were able to get in.
Yeah, I think we got most of those shots from restarts. And what I can say is, when we are preparing for this was a preparatory match. So when we are preparing, you prepare, okay, it's the Chan qualifier. We'll play at home and we'll play away. As a coach, you have to plan. Okay, so when we play away, what system or what do we do when we are playing away? Ethiopia, we are actually... I was thinking, after the game, I went home, I was thinking, what? Ethiopia were more ball possession and stuff. They was trying to buy time because they knew they were away.
Yes.
So when they go and play that Chan fixture,
Away.
they will be away. They will apply the same tactics
system
that they did to Zambia. I'm sure when they are at home, they have another plan. So even us, Zambia, we must have a different... When we are away, what do? We close the game or we go outside to attack?
Okay, let's look at the corner structure as well for Zambia. We actually got 9 corners compared to only 1 for Ethiopia. But look at where the flighting of the corners were. And the corner takers, those corners on the left-hand side were being taken by Augustine Mlenga, and those on the right were being taken by Faxon Kapumbu. But look at that placement there. And we're targeting the Ethiopian goalkeeper because in terms of his judgment for flighted balls, a little bit suspect. But again, I ask myself, okay, we have seen that they've got a weakness in terms of handling the balls in the central area, Saluti. And then we didn't utilize any of them. What are your thoughts?
It was very surprising. We must first of all, I think, is it Chingandu? Chingandu had should have one free header, I think, which I thought was supposed to be a goal, but alas, it wasn't. But again, credit must be given to they had that big defender.
The one I was talking about.
Yeah, in most cases he was always there, very confident. When the ball lands on those, when a corner is taken and it lands, even when the goalkeeper makes misses it, the defender would always actually clear it. There were always 2 defenders assisting their goalkeeper there, and perhaps that's why we never got it. But it's something that really we must work on. That anticipation was not there for our strikers.
Okay, now talking about those 9 corners, it was interesting to note where you look at the general height of the Ethiopian defense and who are the big guys in our starting lineup. You've got Zio Tembo, he was going up, but I was surprised his central defensive partner Shamujopa was actually remaining behind and playing sweeper when we had those set pieces. And if Zio is the only target for the corners, perhaps it's harder. The other one is Dave Daka, not the tallest of players. You've got Ernest Mbewe in there. I mean, maybe I would rather have the Auteza playing sweeper and Shamujopa in the 18.
Oh, I thought, I was thinking, I thought about the same. And I looked at the situation, I thought, maybe coach thought we must have someone who's experienced, not, I don't know if I can say experienced, but someone who's used to defending. Because the way
but for a corner?
Yes, I know. For a corner, we could send, you can send, let's go, Shamjopa, let's go.
Zio, let's go. Silwimba stay. He's one of the quickest. Silwimba and Auteza.
And Kondwani, by the way, Kondwani is
quite
tall. But
he was in there.
But on the marking, this one I can tell you, we do this at Inkwazi. Sometimes you will see me, you come back, because I know if they got the both of them central defenders, meaning we will have no one to, the mentality of players. Some of them just know, oh, okay, me, I'm a left winger. But you make a corner. Listen to me. You corner comes, it goes. This one is here covering. The ball comes here, it starts going forward. Instead of thinking.
But my question is that from a corner, the threat there is a counter attack. And when you are trying to defend a counter-attack, what you need is speed.
Speed.
That's what I think. Now, I don't know
Very true.
if Shamujopa, one, is quick, and what are his 1v1 skills in terms of winning duels 1v1.
Yeah, for that one, if Shamjopa is there, obviously you pick one, and then you have someone quicker than Shamjopa, just to cover. That's why we want to leave. It's either Shamjopa remains or Zio remains.
So you don't mind. I've seen a lot of teams. Both central defenders actually go up because the central defenders are usually big guys, and the assumption is that they're going to win those area battles. So you don't mind.
For Zambian football, no, I think I want one to remain.
You want one central defender to remain, Mr. Saluti.
Well, I think that you have to weigh the chances, and also you have to look at how good. But I think that for us it was okay because we had Mutonga, who was thrown in there, and we would have Zio in there. I think that's a good number of people.
But the third big guy shouldn't be in the 18.
No, if you have the two, why should you risk that much that you should have all of
Yeah,
them
because
there?
I'm thinking a pass into space will Shamujopa chase. But I know Ernest will chase and get whoever it is.
Yeah,
But
now, wait, Mr. Saluti. Sorry. Now look at this on the recovery now. Imagine the speed that you have now coming from that side to come and recover. But imagine you are the Alteza, the Zanako guy. He's somewhere outside the box. Sometimes those guys were winning the ball, put it on the wings,
and start
now
coming.
the recovery. So it's better.
Of Shamujopa.
Yeah.
So
very slow.
You'd rather have him there.
He's there already, and then we have Alteza coming back to chase.
What about the space behind him? Because he's actually at the center circle mark.
I know it's on the center circle mark. The ball goes in the wings, Shamjopa will start drifting back. And then we have maybe Augustine coming, if it's Augustine, Ernest Siluimba, they are coming to cover.
Okay.
So it's easier, the distance will be more smaller. If the ball goes over him, obviously Toaster will be there.
Interesting. It's food for thought. I've taken note of what you've said.